Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for listening to another episode of the Skyward Cast. We are on episode 4. Of course, I am Joey, aka the Skyward King, here with my co-host Delvin Cox.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as we heal, yo, we might as well shine together.
Lord.
Better now than never. Business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam. Who you know do it better?
All right. I don't even know where those the whack lyrics came from, but all right.
Oh, you hate me. You crazy.
Today we got a guest. Say what's up, man. Let them know who you are.
What's up? I said a hip hop, a hip to the hip,
Yes!
to hip.
Oh no.
Derek is in on the game.
Oh man, see what you did?
Yo,
For
what's
those
up?
who don't know, every episode of the Skyward Cast, and I don't know why Joey hasn't called on this yet. I just recite some hip hop lyrics every time he calls my name. As soon as it starts.
That was funny.
So what's going on, Derek?
Not a lot, man. Not a lot. Enjoying life, man. Trying to make the most out of every day that I have. So, it's all good.
Way to do it. Best way to do it. So what's been going on with you guys this week? Let's just, dig into the weekly roundup, basically. What's interesting that's been going on? Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, you starting with me?
Yeah, both of
Yeah.
y'all. Anything you watched, anything you played, anything interesting? What's been going on this week? It's kind of like,
I'm finishing up Assassin's Creed. That's been going good. I'm about 85, 90% through. Started on Ratchet and Clank. It's okay. I'm not a platform gamer. And fired up NBA 2K18, playing as my Lakers. Played Golden State the other night. Yeah, Golden State ain't no joke. Like, I got tired of chasing stuff around the court, man. This is just in a video game. I can't imagine what people have to do in real life going against this guy, man, because he just stops and shoots. He picks a spot on the court. Yeah, I'm going to hit it from right there. 3 points, So, but I had fun. I lost by like 25, My feelings weren't hurt because I kind of expected it. It is what it is. So that's what I've been doing. I've been watching some Netflix. Got back into that. Watched 7 Seconds. Yeah.
7 seconds. What's that? I never heard of that.
It's let's see. It's 10 episodes, I want to say, and it was starts off where a cop, white cop, hits a black kid running through the park, and police in this New York Police Department, they kind of sweep it under the rug, kind of hide evidence. And the mom of the kid, she's like, kid ended up passing away. I hate, should have threw a spoiler out there. But, she's trying to figure out who hit her kid. And it boils down to, they find out that it was a cop that did it, and they were covering it up, and they ended up the cop ended up going to trial, and it plays out at the end kind of like you figure the way things are going nowadays. And it eat at you, man, because, there's a family out there that actually had to go through that. So,
yeah, that sounds crazy. I don't know if I could. if I'm in the mood to sit through something like that right now.
No. But I started watching it when I was at work, and I needed something to break the monotony of just sitting there doing software testing. So I turned that on and then got kind of hooked. And so I was like, yeah, okay. So then I started watching some comedies that have changed the mood in my world. So watched a few comedy specials. I'm excited because Kevin Hart comes to town this week, and I'm still trying to still trying to decide if I'm gonna go see him. And it's not that I don't want to go; it's the arena that he's performing at sucks. Like I went there back in December to see DL Hughley, George Lopez. They did the comedy Lowdown, and they were great. But the arena is horrible, man. It's an old building. That building been around maybe 50 years, and it's old and it's decrepit, and it's like where they used to play basketball at. So there's no stage per se where you sit around and you face the stage. The stage was in the middle, so the comedians are constantly talking, doing their jokes in a circle. You know, they constantly, because they have to kind of like do 4 views as they're, you know. And I don't know if I wanted to see Kevin Hart there. The last time he came here, he was at another arena, which was nice. It was stage. He came from out the floor, you know, from the next level down, popped up, did a great show. But that arena is booked up now for this weekend, so that's why he's not there.
Maybe they finally did some renovations.
No, they're gonna tear that joker down, man. Man, this joint is old, man. So, and I haven't been here in Richmond maybe a little over 20 years, and that building was old when I got here. So it hasn't, and everything around downtown is VCU, you know, the Virginia Commonwealth University. So they own a good part of downtown Richmond. So the Siegel Center is where the VCU Rams play, and they have all these other buildings, and you got this one old building. It's like someone took and put up a whole new development, and you got this one old house that's run down, sitting smack dab between them and taking down property values. But yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to do that. So, you know, like I said, I do software testing for a major national bank. This is their crazy time of the year, tax season. So I don't know if you guys have IRAs or not, but stay on top of the money you put into your IRA, because it can be very hectic if you put money in and then next year or when you're ready to go pay your taxes, things aren't right. It's a big headache trying to undo stuff from a year later when it's close to tax time. So it's been tiring at work, but gotta make that money, man. But I'm trying to transition out of that, trying to get into another part of IT. So I got a stack of switches and routers that I've been working on, trying to get hooked up, teaching myself videos, books, trying to get the certification to get into network admin.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make that money before I actually retire. You know, but I want to change because I'm tired of working 2 jobs, man. I work at Amazon as well. And I swear, man, it's a like I have to get up at tomorrow morning at 1:30 to go to work, and I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, but it is what it is, man. I like making money, so
yeah, that's the good part.
Yeah.
Oh man, so what's been going on, Devin?
Man, it's been a crazy week, but I'm not gonna get into the crazy stuff because that's a whole other sad, crazy.
Oh, don't tease like that, man.
No. I'm not gonna bring down the podcast this week. That's not happening. with my bad luck, but for the most part, I've been good. No complaints. I've been playing. Been getting some gaming in for once. That's a rarity for me. So I've been playing a little bit of Mass Effect Andromeda, which is more and more I play it, more and more I enjoy it. But now it's funny that I'm getting into it now, and all the good games are starting to come out now. So it's like, oh my god, like the Way Out's gonna come out, I think next week. Dino Cooney, which I love the first one. Dino Cooney 2 comes out like in a couple of hours, so I'm gonna definitely start playing that at midnight probably. And what else comes out in a couple of weeks? Is something else coming out? Oh, Far Cry 5 comes out.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I've never played a Far Cry game.
Oh man,
they are awesome.
I've heard, I've been wanting to jump in since part 3. I might have to just go pick that up and just give that a try.
Well, if you buy Far Cry 5, you said 3. Yeah, if you buy Far Cry 5 and you get the season pass, it's included with that.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's going for a new price. I kind of want that budget right now.
Oh, trust and believe, man. That's one of the perks of working for Amazon. You get that 10% discount. So with that and me being a Prime member, it only came out to like $51 shipped. So I was like,
that's cool.
$70 down to $51. I do that all day.
Yeah.
71.
Yeah, because when you got Prime, if you order it before it comes out, they give you a 20% discount.
Yeah.
And then plus, he has a 10% employee discount. So from 71 to 51.
No, I'm talking about 71. Just why is it 70? You said this is like a special edition?
Yeah.
It's,
okay, I got you.
Far Cry 3.
I got you.
And all the DLC.
Dang, I'm gonna have to get into that at some point. I don't know. I've been slacking. I haven't played a lot of games. I mean, as far, like for me this week, geez, I don't think I touched a game this week other than PUBG on mobile, which actually was kind of fire. I wasn't expecting that. It played smoother like than I've seen it run on some people's PCs. So I mean, my phone isn't even the greatest.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. PUBG plays better on a freaking phone than it does on a PC.
But of course, everything is downgraded. You know what I mean? So it's real. Texture is real muddy. Everything is, but it was a really fun experience. I'm gonna have to. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is go get one of my smartphone Bluetooth controllers and really try to set it up. Go at it. You might have to join me.
I tried playing PUBG, man. I got frustrated. I played it twice. Got frustrated both times. You jump off the plane and get down, you land, and immediately the dude just starts coming over me, and I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to be doing? And next thing I know, you died. You got punched.
Hey, you gotta go hide, man.
Yeah.
Can't be all out in the open.
Nobody explained that. I just parachuted out, and it's supposed to be a great game, and get in there, and I died. After the second time, I was like, oh, that's a wrap. I'm not going back.
I forgot to mention something that I think is pretty cool.
What's that?
I actually met my doppelganger on Twitter.
What?
You have a doppelganger.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since this week, apparently. It was the funniest thing. So I'm on Twitter, right? And some guy messages me. He's like, how is it possible that this guy has the exact same name as me, does a podcast like I do a podcast, and has infinitely a lot more followers than I do?
Wow.
He's cool still in his fan base, man.
He's a cool guy. I actually invited him on my podcast. I'm like, yo, you come on the podcast. I recorded one earlier this week with him. His name is, believe it or not, Delvin Williams.
Get out of here.
Great guy.
I'm going to have to listen to that for sure.
You guys have to follow him. On Twitter, he's D-Ray 1977. He's a great guy. It was awesome talking to him because he's literally into the same things I'm into. He loves comic books and things like that. He plays a little bit of video games. He's trying to get back into it because he likes the old school RPGs. So, and, they don't really make that many no more. Plus, he has the Xbox One. So I don't think there's that many for Xbox One. So I'm trying to find some old school RPGs that he might like on there because he kind of got out of the game because most games kind of got complicated.
But he's more complicated than an old school RPG.
Control wise, in terms of, you know what I mean? Like how, for example, he mentioned on the podcast, Final Fantasy 15. And Final Fantasy 15, I like it a lot, but it's not really an RPG. It's essentially an action game with RPG elements.
I wouldn't know. I never played any Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, and he's played like all of them, but he's a great guy. It was cool talking to him because, like I said, we have so much in common, including our name is just one part. He was like, yo, and he just happened to see, I guess, a tweet by me. He's like, this guy has way more followers than me, and he does a podcast, and it's like, and he has so much interaction. Like, I don't know, bro. Yeah, I was like, yo, you can come on my podcast.
Twin, man.
Tell me what to. Yeah. Great guy.
Well, that's
So that
awesome,
definitely
man.
was
You found your twin. Been
That
playing some
definitely was highlight of my
games.
week. Definitely.
Yeah, for me, my everything's been boring as usual. So anyway, let's just skip to the next topic.
Hold on. I got a topic for y'all.
Okay.
A quick one. Did you hear the story about the crooks trying to break into McDonald's and rob McDonald's with a forklift?
What?
Yeah. I saw that.
Yes.
So,
This is the actual story.
What did they think they were going to tear the door off or something?
That's like,
I don't know what they were planning on doing.
hey man, we could just take the whole store. You know?
Apparently, it was a forklift outside of the McDonald's. I guess they were doing construction work. No, not a forklift. What is it? What are the big trucks called? A dump truck. Is it a dump truck?
Oh man, they thought they were gonna make out with all the burgers. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Dump truck.
We're gonna take all the burgers and fries.
Which one is the big truck with the I guess the cup in it?
Oh, like a bulldozer?
Yeah, bulldozer. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. Like I said, they thought they were gonna scoop up all the burgers and fries out of there.
You know, that's a good way to make a quick $1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy because you're gonna they're trying to essentially break into a McDonald's and get $1,000 at most, and they're gonna probably, if they get caught, they're probably gonna get 20 years in prison.
Yep.
Trying to break in with one of the loudest vehicles ever. Oh
And big. In the front of the store. You know, what are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe they were, off some drugs, and they were like, "Yeah, I got a plan."
I guess I got a theory. That they was just weed heads. And they were just high as hell. They were like, "Yo, McDonald's isn't open, but we can open it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, went on a
That
Harold
should be open
Kumar type
24/7. Oh no. A couple of weeks ago, there was a guy posing, not a guy, but he was a kid. He was posing as a cop. And he took his grandmother's SUV and had police type lights put in the front. And he had a police uniform and he was pulling people over. And he got to a neighborhood and the lady thought it was odd that his belt wasn't holding his pants. So he was constantly holding his belt because his pants kept falling down. And so they called the police and they were like, "So you a cop?" Like, yeah. He had no license. He's 14 years old.
Oh.
They go into the house. He got police uniforms. He got flak jackets. He got sheriff stuff, man. He had fake like M16 type guns. They were like, "And so you hooked your grandma's truck up with the lights and grandma didn't notice this? She got a strut bar across her windshield."
Where the heck does 14-year-old get all this gear?
I don't know. He ordered the stuff online.
All this damn money. You bought all this stuff. Police gear ain't cheap.
No, but he was pulling people over. You know, like what?
Oh,
you can't shave yet. How are you gonna give me a ticket, man? If you don't get your butt back in the house.
Who got fooled by him? I mean,
a couple of people.
Oh my god! Either he is just like, I don't know, he looks really old for his age, or those people are straight stupid. Jeez.
Yeah. So they got him charged with a few crimes. So I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, okay, beware."
I'm just imagining like some little kid with a fake mustache on walking up to somebody's window. "Do you know why I pulled you over, sir?"
Oh man,
jeez. But yeah, let's get into this first topic. So topic is the DCEU. Where do we think it's going? How do you think they've done so far?
In the trash.
Next topic. Hey, hold on, man. It's not that simple. I think I would hate. I honestly would hate to see it go down badly. I mean, well, it's already gone down badly. But I would hate for it to just completely crash and for them to have to do a reboot, because I think Ben Affleck is like the best Batman we've had so far, live action. So I would hate to see him just get thrown out. They can throw the Flash out. They can throw Gal Gadot out with her Wonder Woman. I think she's very average. I like Ray Fisher. His Cyborg is really good. They can keep Superman, Batman, Ray Fisher, throw the rest out. But I would hate to just see it thrown away. There has to be some way they can fix it with Flashpoint.
I'm really starting to see that you're a contrarian. Everything that everybody else likes, you hate. I have never heard anybody say anything. Hey, let's keep the Flash. No, let's keep Ray Fisher, who's Cyborg. Everybody just bashed on Cyborg how he looked.
But that's the look. The performance was really good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
See, and this is the funny thing about it. The one person that everybody universally liked was Wonder Woman. He's like, he was all right.
Yeah.
People praised Wonder Woman. He's like, I don't know.
But the thing is, a lot of her praise comes from the fact that she was just like a strong female image that a lot of people were looking for. You know what I mean? And but if you actually look at the performance, her performance is really average. And it's like a lot of her average acting is covered up by really cool action scenes and, just overall really good visuals. You know what I mean? So the visual is there, but when she actually has talking time, you see that, her acting is maybe like worth a 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? So I never really got that vibe that she's actually worth keeping. I was hoping like, man, maybe they might, pull a switch up, get somebody else to come in for her for the next one, but it didn't happen. So I don't know.
I thought she did really good. I thought that what she was given, I thought she did really good with. I want to take into consideration that the DCEU isn't necessarily Shakespearean type stuff, but for the most part, I will say this. I like all the members of the Justice League. I even like the Justice League movie.
I heard you say that on one of your podcasts. I was like, what?
I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. It was very enjoyable. It was like how a person would enjoy like a Fast and Furious movie. Like, this is fun.
I could see that.
This is fun. It's not like I said, it's not action. It's not like something that you're gonna be like, oh, you got to see this. This is one of the greatest cinema masterpieces ever. But this is fun. Now, on the other side of things, the problem with the DCEU to me is the fact that it has no direction.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem. I think, and the funniest thing about it is, if you watch the movies closely, to me, in my opinion, the only character that's really showing growth is Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he show growth? I mean, I don't know. I felt like he was going.
No, he was
going backwards.
No, he kind of showed growth in the sense where when Man of Steel came out, he was annoying.
What?
He was very annoying. He was just whining. Oh, this happened. I'm going to sit here and be brooding and Batman-ish, but I'm not Batman. I'm going to be brooding and all angry and stuff. And even in Batman vs. Superman, he kind of had that feel to him. He was kind of dark and brooding. And what I liked about Justice League a lot was he felt more like Superman. He was cracking jokes. He was having fun. It was even a part, I think, with him and Cyborg after they fought the bad guy. He cracked a joke like, man, I should have stayed dead. That's the type of Superman you kind of want to, unless you're going to go the route of Injustice Superman, you kind of want to see fun-loving Superman and dark, brooding, angry Batman.
You see, but it always felt like they were going to go the Injustice route. Like everyone was saying that, like, are they going to go this way? Because it kind of seemed like they were steering things in that direction. But I don't know.
See, the thing about it is, I wouldn't mind them going the Injustice route if they built well to it.
Yeah.
I felt like if you're going to, like, Batman versus Superman shouldn't have happened as their like first official "This is our universe" movie. That's just my opinion, because you want to kind of see them grow that friendship. Like a good example of it, which I don't know if you're not a big fan of the Civil War, for example. Civil War was a combination of multiple things. Of you seeing Tony Stark and Steve Rogers as friends. And it was kind of like this big moment where they had this big breakup. So it kind of felt like when that big fight happened, it felt like a family affair. And it even was mentioned where you see like it was a scene in Civil War where Scarlet Witch was part of it. But Black Widow and Hawkeye were fighting, and Scarlet Witch just throws Black Widow out the way. He's like, why did you do that? And he's like, well, you were holding back your punches. And he was holding back his punches because he didn't want to fight his friend. Whereas in Batman versus Superman, it was like, well, I don't like Batman. I don't like Superman. We'll have to eventually fight each other. That was kind of the whole crux of everything. Then at the end, the whole Martha thing is their common ground. Well, I think if you would have built up to that moment, it would have been a lot more to have that fight.
They're going to need somebody kind of like what Marvel has in his, I don't know what the guy's name is, but in his office, he's got like index cards, and he's got all the characters, and he's got a string of how they all relate and how their stories intertwine in the Marvel universe. DC needs that, because I grew up, watching the Superman movies of the 70s and the Batman movies, 70s and 80s, and the Batman movies of the late 80s and 90s. And you're going to have to intertwine them some way if you're going to, do a Justice League. You're going to have to do backstories on like the Flash, and they did Wonder Woman. They're going to have to do one on Aquaman, but it's going to have to make sense. You're going to have to tie non-comic book fans and bring them into that world. You're going to have to do something better, because to me, Justice League seemed like it was just thrown together. Marvel has, their group of guys. Let's do a group of guys over here with us. And a lot of it did make sense. And I can't remember the name of the movie where they had, what was that? Lex Luthor, the guy that played him. That was terrible. I ain't like that. I ain't like him playing.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, he was just, that was terrible. Oh my God.
Should have never happened.
No. But they're going to have to, like, if they reboot this, they're going to have to give it a few years and build this thing back up from the ground up. And I like Ben Affleck more with him playing Bruce Wayne more so than Batman. I guess because I was such a big fan of Bale playing it, and it's kind of hard for me to see somebody else so soon. I know it's not that soon, but it seems like it's rather quick that someone else is now playing Batman. But I just think that DC, they're gonna have to scrap what they have, or have somebody to come in and retool everything. Because right now, I'm not a fan. Justice League wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as I heard. It was watchable. Will I watch it again late at night on cable or something? I'll see it on. I'll stop and watch it. But it's not like I will go out and pick up the DVD. It wasn't that good to me.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much have all those same issues with all the DCEU. I mean, everything, it just felt like the last two major movies, they felt like they were rushed. So, yeah, I mean, Man of Steel, I felt like when I first watched Man of Steel, like my first issue with it was it felt like they were rushing past his origin story to get him to be Superman like as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. And now you see why, because it was like, okay, well, they wanted to get to Batman versus Superman so they can get to Justice League. And it should have, I felt like he shouldn't have, like, the ending of the movie should have been him actually walking out of that ship where he got his suit, and then it just kind of closed out, and the whole movie should have just been an origin story, and then we got Superman. You know what I mean? then we got Superman, then we got a Batman, and then we got Batman versus Superman. That would have been amazing. It would have felt like it actually was deserved, but things didn't play out that way.
It sucks because they've told the story over and over again in better ways. And a good example of that is, and you may knock it if you want to, the Arrowverse. Now, they have its ups and downs, but for the most part, when it comes to the Arrowverse, they have a connected community. They have a Flash that you care about.
Yeah.
They have a Green Arrow that you care about. They had a Deathstroke that you care about. They had characters that you care about because you got to know them. Now, it's a little harder to do that in the movie universe, but they could have got around it. They could have just easily been like, okay, you know what? Let's connect these universes together and let's bring the Flash from the TV show onto our movies.
Yeah, maybe they can still do that.
Because people already know and love that Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of made sense. And plus, it's even more crazy because they mentioned, hey, this universe has a Superman. This universe already has a Batman established. So it wouldn't have been hard to say, hey, we can just jump right into it. We don't have to do a Superman year one story. We can do a Superman story where, okay, we know, because let's be honest, everybody knows Superman and Batman's origin story. We don't have to keep telling the story over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think where DC messes up at is the fact that it feels like they don't think fans are smart enough to know what's going on. And that's one of the things I liked about Spider-Man Homecoming. You didn't get an origin story with that Spider-Man. You got a story where, like, okay, this is Spider-Man. He's already doing his Spider-Man thing. We're getting right into the action. But
it's like, but in that case, it kind of feels like they bring you in the middle of the origin story. You know what I mean? So it's like, it still kind of feels like you're getting that taste. You know what I mean? Enough so you feel like you're getting properly introduced to the character. Whereas on the other side, it's like, like they kind of rush you over it thinking, you know all this stuff already. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah, but let's keep it real. How many times would you see Peter Parker get bit by that damn spider? Like, really? We done seen it at least 10 times now.
Look, we've seen it enough, definitely. But I feel like, but they went to the other extreme on the DC side and give you nothing. You know what I mean? Or like I said, like in the case of Man of Steel, they bunch like the entire origin story. Like, I'm as a Smallville fan, I would have loved to see more of that. Something like that.
It took 30 years to get them wearing the suit.
Yeah, okay, look, that was overkill.
They made you wait for it. It was worth it, though. I will say that. It was worth it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that series. So I wanted to see some of that, on screen, which is why I thought Man of Steel should have just been completely an origin story. He doesn't get into the suit until the end of the movie, that we kind of start off part 2 where that one left off. And that would have been good. Like, we didn't get any of that for really any of the characters. And we got worse for Batman. We just got him, we're kind of getting little bits and pieces of or clues into his past story. They didn't even give us a real good flashback scene, which would have been good. That would have been better. You know what I mean? They gave us that little intro and then that's it. Like, they should have gave us a full movie. And then it's like everything is so backwards that they're giving Batman villains their own movies before Batman. Like, oh my God, everything is just so twisted. So they're talking about giving Harley a movie. They gave freaking Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2 is coming. And now they're talking about a Joker movie. How you gonna give Joker a movie? Why are we having discussions about a Joker movie, a Harley movie, a Suicide Squad 2, even after that first movie was hot garbage? But we don't even have a Batman yet. That's crazy, man.
That's beyond crazy. The fact that the first thing they should have did before they even thought about making Justice League is get your main 3 characters right. Mm-hmm. Do a Superman movie, do a Batman movie, do a Wonder Woman movie. And you can build from each one of those movies. Simple as that. They chose to do, people like Harley Quinn, so let's make a Suicide Squad movie. Oh, what if Batman and Superman had a fight? Oh, these are things they could have built to, and it would have meant a lot more. And
I don't think I don't think a Joker movie is a good thing. I think if you're going to do anything, I think you build up and you have at least 3 of Batman's most popular villains in a movie, but not just the Joker. Especially because Jared Leto's Joker, man, was like, Jesus, man, what in God's name? I don't remember. The Joker had owning a club. It just that it was just. It's like they went over the top of being over the top of over top. It was just, and I loved Heath Ledger. So every time somebody plays the Joker, that's what it's going to be compared to. And it's like they were like, okay, do what Heath Ledger did, but do a little bit more, go over the top. And it's like it went too far over the top. And then he wasn't even in a good majority of the movie. So my last taste of the Joker is Jared Leto. And I'm like, please, God, don't do another Joker movie. Not right now. Unless there's some way that you can tell, his whole story, of how he got to where he is now, how psychotic he is. And Harley Quinn is the same way. I know her story. I know she was a psychiatrist for the Joker, but give me something more. Give me that part of how he flipped her to get her to be a villain. Give me that, but tell me that story slowly.
I hear that it's not even going to be, well, it's not necessarily going to be even that same Joker. It's going to be like the Joker, but it's going to be like a different, I don't know, like it might just be a story completely separate from the DCEU Joker. And that's what they were talking about, doing movies on DC characters, but completely separate from the DCEU. So now you gotta, when you see a new movie, you have to wonder, is this even connected to the other one? So you might have a completely different dude playing Joker in this origin story. And it's like, where are they going with this?
Well, my problem with the Joker was simple. He didn't feel like he was Batman's enemy. He just felt like a guy that Batman was chasing after.
Yeah.
You didn't have the vibe that, okay, this guy killed a Robin. Batman didn't have the ferocity like, yo, I'm finna hurt this dude. This dude took one of my people. It just felt like, okay, I gotta catch him. Oh, he's running away. You didn't feel like they had a rivalry. It just was there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Never really felt like it was just like, and he didn't really have that like top tier villain feel. You know what I mean? It was like he was just kind of like one of his random thugs that Batman would have just beat up and threw in Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He didn't have the pageantry that comes with the Joker. Every Joker, with the exception of this one, has that kind of feel to him. Like, okay, this guy's bad news. He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether you had Jack Nicholson with his over the top performance and him kind of like chewing up the scene where he's just over the top with it. It feels fun. His Joker had a fun yet scary feel to it. And with Heath Ledger's Joker, it kind of felt like this guy could be real. This guy could be somebody you can see on the streets and like, hey, almost like a serial killer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A serial killer anarchist. Where you're like, yo, this I can see Heath Ledger's Joker on the news like, yo, this is crazy. You can kind of believe that happening in real life. Like, and the Jared Leto's Joker felt like if you were to hear about Jared Leto's Joker, you wouldn't even probably see that on the news. They'd be like, whatever. It's just some nut job. It's not a big, it wouldn't even be a news story.
Yeah.
He just seems like some guy who's just high on meth that the cop would just shoot and then it'd be end of the story.
He's like a trailer park Joker.
Yeah. It's not that he was trying to like mock the character. It's just that they didn't make him feel special. They focused so much on the Harley Quinn and Joker aspect of that relationship. They didn't touch the Batman side of it, which is the most important side of Joker. Joker is Joker because he is the antithesis of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He is the reverse Batman in a sense.
Right.
As Batman is like law and order, things have to be done this way for right or wrong, and he has a dark side to it. Joker, it's always been colorful, but the opposite. He's colorful, bright, flashy, but he murders and kills. He does dark, horrible things. And because of Batman's code of honor, he knows he can't kill him, but he knows Joker has to die. Batman's not an idiot. He knows that Joker has to be killed. He has to be stopped. But that's an internal battle that Batman has to deal with, the fact that I can't kill this guy. Even though I know that he's a habitual murderer. He's killed hundreds of thousands of people. If I kill him, I'm crossing that line. And that's always been the dynamic between the Joker and Batman, in the sense where he knows that if he kills a Joker, what's stopping him from killing every other criminal? What's stopping him from becoming... Because, see, I think that's one thing that people kind of miss with Batman. He's a vigilante, but he's more like a cop in the sense where... And I think they've said it in other media, like in the cartoon show and things like that. Essentially, cops are okay with Batman beating the crap out of these villains and catching them, as long as he doesn't kill them and he brings them to justice. Once he kills one and once he crosses that line, the police have no choice but to hunt him down.
I like to see Batman snap, though. I really would. And just, get in the Batmobile and be chasing people. This chase is going on too long. Blow the whole car up. I just like to see that him go slightly over the edge, but then come back and be like, oh, man, you know what? I'm going to have to take a vacation or something because I done went too far over and I can't be like this because now I'm turning into the very people I'm trying to lock up. But I want to see him not just get to that line, but take a half a step over and then have to come back, check his own self. And you're right with the Joker, because it seems like they are polar opposites. And I like to see them have a mano-a-mano, like a chess match type thing going on in the movie, where Joker is trying to like blow up something or do something heinous, and then Batman is trying to, figure it out and, always one step behind and eventually catches up with him and catch him. And he has a choice. Do I want to throw him off the building or do I want to lock him up? And he like push him. But, you're like, no, I can't do that. I got to lock him up. He got to stand, I got to go to court for his trial, for his crimes. But yeah, I think however they want to do this Joker, they got to do something different, because that, to me, Jared Leto's version left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's not one that can be easily washed away. And I still haven't seen Wonder Woman all the way through, and I haven't watched Spider-Man yet. Got to do that.
Neither one of that great. I think they're both very average movies.
Joey has terrible taste in movies.
Oh no! Come on, Wonder Woman was so average. What name one standout thing from that movie?
The bunker scene.
The what?
The bunker. In the bunker.
Remind me that the movie was so average I kind of forgot.
I don't want to tell the whole scene, but when they're pinned, the World War I soldiers are pinned down in the bunker, and she's like, "I'm going to save these people." That scene was awesome.
When she kind of ran out there with,
yes, in the front line by herself.
Oh, that was another average scene to me, but okay.
Oh Joey has terrible taste in movies.
Listen, I have great taste in movies, man. That's why I can't, say this is that great. It was just another DCEU movie.
And I don't even know what you're talking about, Spider-Man Homecoming. I think you're clearly high.
What was that?
Good movie. How you say Spider-Man Homecoming?
It was so average, especially compared to the other ones. Like
which other ones? The Tobey Maguire or the
I'd say Tobey.
45-year-old
Tobey Maguire.
45-year-old Tobey Maguire playing a 13-year-old man.
Listen, the Tobey Maguire ones, those fight scenes, the choreography for those fight scenes was top tier. And I sat there and rewatched them. You know what I mean? It was crazy good. And in Homecoming, it was okay. It was too teeny. You know what I mean? It was like they were trying to appeal to an audience that, I was no longer a part of. So I couldn't really get into it. While the other ones, the Tobey Maguire, the Andrew Garfield ones, they kind of, it was trying to appeal to a wider audience, where it felt like Homecoming was really meant for like the current Disney Channel crowd. Like that didn't get me at all. You know what I mean? I don't watch Nickelodeon. I don't watch any of that stuff. That's not gonna appeal to me. The corny. None of it.
Tobey Maguire was an 80-year-old man playing a 17-year-old boy.
See, you're getting, that's not even the point, man. The point was it maintained a mature vibe while the whole thing.
He was on Medicaid.
I love those movies, though. To me,
the first two were good.
Yeah. The third one, no bueno. No.
The third one was I don't know what the heck.
I had high hopes for that one. But then again, I had high hopes for the third Batman movie with Christian Bale, when they had Bane in that one. That one let me down, man. I was like, Jesus, what? How is Bane and Batman the same size? That made no sense to me. Now that I think about it, I wish The Rock had played Bane. That would have made more sense to me, especially when he picks Batman up to break his back. It's like
that would have worked.
Yeah,
that fool's on steroids. That worked.
I'm not even co-signing that one. Nope.
Just meant if you look at Tom Hardy and you look at The Rock and you say, okay, pick one to play Bane. Which one are you gonna pick? You gonna pick Tom Hardy? You gonna pick The Rock? I mean, if you just thinking about who Bane is, this big muscular guy, you're not gonna pick Tom Hardy. You're gonna pick The Rock. 6'5", 270 pounds, solid muscle. Veins popping out everywhere. Yeah, that's Bane right there.
All right.
Yeah.
This is what we'll do. Everybody is going to, each one of us, one at a time. You start first, Derek. Give your Bane voice. Then Joey, you go next, and I'll go last.
Hold on, let me think that. Oh man, Bane. Oh, I came from darkness. I adapted from it. You simply just, put on a cowl to me, adjust to the darkness. Sorry, that's all I got.
Sound like Jerry Seinfeld's impression of Bane. It was pretty good though, man.
Your turn, Joey.
Oh, heck no.
No,
you go for it, man.
No, you have to do it.
Hey, look, I didn't sign up for this challenge. You go on, man.
All right.
It's gonna be a long silence gap, right?
God, that's so embarrassing.
Come on, Joey, tell us.
Go for it, Delvin. Let him hear your best impression.
Oh, I'm trying to find a good quote because he took all the good quotes. Oh, I got one now. You don't fear death. You welcome it. Your punishment must be more severe. So trash.
What the heck was that? All right. See, none of that. Next topic.
Why you don't do the voice?
I won't do that trash.
Why are you scared to do the Bane voice? Brothers.
Because look, that's just not what I do, man. I don't.
Oh my God! Why do you have to tell you all the time?
One thing I didn't like about that movie, he broke Batman's back, and then he dragged him out somewhere and threw him in a hole. And then this makeshift doctor says, "I'll push your spine back in your body. It's gonna take you some time to heal." Yeah. Like, wait a minute, there, you pushed his spine back in. You still expect this man? Wait a minute, hold on. You in a hole. You got no medical equipment. You just pushed his spine. I was done after that. I really was.
Straight. Yeah. Here you go. You're straight. Nah, Joey's not sliding with this Coke 45 game he just tried to play. I'm too cool to do the Bane voice. I'm Billy D. Williams and Coke 45. I can't do the Bane voice. I'm too cool for this crap.
Hey, kind of, man. I ain't signed up for that trash.
Oh my god!
Hey, did anybody did you guys watch that Nintendo Nindies presentation?
Nope.
No.
I didn't even know it was on. Had no clue.
Dang, not interested, huh?
And it's weird for me because I'm not a Nintendo fan, but I have one of those NES minis, and I still haven't opened this thing up yet. I've had it since maybe the first week in January. I walked into a Walmart and said, "Oh, because I kept saying I wanted to get one," and now that I have it, it's like, man, my son, my oldest son, who's 20, he loves Nintendo. Like he has a Switch, a Wii U, like 4 of those 3DS XLs. He's got all that. Me, on the other hand, I can't get into Nintendo, and I don't know why I don't like Nintendo, but I just don't like it.
You don't like Nintendo?
Not to the point where it's like I have to have one of their products. I think they're very innovative, but I associate Nintendo with everything Mario. And when I think of Nintendo, I think of Mario. And when I think of Mario, I think of one of those Mario games where I went over my cousin's house, and it was at a period when I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. So I was trying to be a grown man and going out on dates and doing grown man stuff and played, my cousin was like, come on, play. There's a whole bunch of people over. And I'm in there and I'm like, oh, I think I figured this game out, and I get to the end and it pissed me off, excuse my French. And they were like, oh, no, the princess is not in this castle. She's in another castle. Like, well, what did I spend a half an hour jumping around for? And she's not even here. And I just never got into it. Like, so many people have their thing about Nintendo. It's very nostalgic for them. And it's not like that for me. The only time I really got into a Nintendo was when I had a 64 and I played GoldenEye. And once I beat GoldenEye, I was done with the 64. And the next time I touched it, I think it was the GameCube that I bought my son and played Mario Sunshine with him trying to beat a level. Other than that, I haven't fooled with Mario or Nintendo since.
Ooh, they finna kill you on Twitter.
Come at me. I'm 50.
Sounds like from that story.
We had the Nintendo God on last week, Eddie V.
Yeah.
The Democratic Experience, and he almost took our heads off for saying even close to like, hey, we like PlayStation. What? How dare you? Yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it was okay. The thing was, it was. I mean, I know you really didn't care for it, but I honestly wanted to check it out because. You didn't check it out.
I didn't know that it would happen until after it happened. So I was like, okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
Okay. After having seen it, it was, I don't know, it was a whole bunch of missed opportunities. It was really short. It was really average. They didn't really point out any of like the major games that are actually coming. Like they didn't even announce Ark. Ark is coming to the Switch. They didn't announce that.
Guess I'll buy it.
Like that's crazy. Like, and when I first saw that, I mean, it's kind of going off topic because it wasn't on the show. But when I first saw it, I was thinking, like, how the heck is that going to run? Because I got that on Xbox, and that mess runs like 15 frames per second at any given time. So I'm thinking this mess is about to be chugging at a cool 5 on average. So
I got a question now. Since you said that, Fortnite and PUBG have to be coming to the Switch, right?
I'd have to think at least the mobile version. At least the mobile versions, yeah.
Exactly. Why would it not be on Switch?
I don't know. Unless there's absolutely no reason. Unless it's just a real struggle. For whatever reason. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know. Unless Nintendo just really wants the console version and they don't want to get the mobile version on there. Then maybe that could be a problem. But if they're cool with that, then it should be coming.
How does multiplayer work on Nintendo? Like
ridiculously stupid.
I mean, is it
kind of like online multiplayer?
Yeah.
You gotta have a friend code and all this nonsense. Now, local multiplayer is easy. You just hook up to your grab a controller and play essentially. But online multiplayer, you gotta have people as your friend and your friend code. It's a whole mess up there. They need to fix that crap. People send me friend codes all the time. I'm like, I'm not trying to click this in. I would love to play on you with Switch, but I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. Oh man! All right, so hey, you know what? I wanted to ask your opinion about something, right? Because I was, when we finally got the news that Stephen Hawking, he passed. Gal Gadot, right? She made a post, Wonder Woman, for those that don't know. She made a post on Twitter basically saying, thank you for all that you've contributed, and now you are free from, I guess, your physical limitations, due to his disability. Now you can basically live free, you know what I mean? And a lot of people took offense to that because they felt like it was her somehow, like, I don't know, making him a victim. But it wasn't, huh?
He lived in a freaking wheelchair.
Exactly. But that's my point. Like, I wanted to know, like, how do you see it how the way that they saw? Obviously you don't. But everyone jumped on her like, okay, you're making it seem like he was a victim, even though he contributed so much to the world. And that's not the case. It's just like, obviously what she was doing is the man passed. She's trying to find some type of positive to get out of the situation. You know what I mean? Saying, okay, well, maybe you're happier on the other side. So it's like to see everyone jump on her like that, like she was trying to insult the man or make him out to be a victim. Like, it just seemed crazy. But yeah. Your thoughts?
Look here, man. Twitter need to cut this crap out. I'm just gonna call it straight up how it is. Everything is not a reason to get angry for something. Oh, she's talking about his disability. Oh, she says he might be better on the other side of the world. Yo, stop it. Stop it, fam. It's getting ridiculous. We can't be mad at everything. As much as stuff is going on today, what Gal Gadot says about Stephen Hawking is the last thing we should be worried about. Literally.
Yeah.
I think people will just take anything you say. I think part of it is because she's famous. I think people, it would have kind of died down of just say, if I had put something out like that, you would have had a few people, like, oh, you're being mean. But I think no matter what you say, somebody's going to get ticked off for it, and she wasn't being mean-spirited. She was just saying it like, you're not confined to something. You can, you get out of your confined space and, be able to do things you haven't been able to do in 50 years or whatever, however long he was in a wheelchair. And I think people just want to be angry because they can be angry on social media, and, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, you're a bad person. It's like, but she's saying probably what thousands of other people were thinking. But, if another average person had said that, it would have been like, oh, you just, you shouldn't say that. But they'll go after somebody who's not as famous, but because she's, famous actress, they're going to just come at you just to come after her. She could have said something that wasn't even, could have been deemed as harsh, and they would have come after her because just the way people are in society nowadays. I saw that and I didn't find anything wrong with it. I thought it was appropriate, from a spiritual way of looking at her tweet. And if you step back and just think that she wasn't being mean, she was just saying something nice, I didn't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. So basically you guys are reasonable people that can see, that she didn't have
malice,
any negative intentions. Yeah.
Right.
With this.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why people are like that. But yeah, I just had to. I just wanted to see if I can get some rational opinions on that.
If you want rational opinions, you go to the Skyward cast.
Yeah.
Every weekend, every weekday. What day this podcast drop? Because we just drop it any other day. I don't know what day we drop this podcast.
I think it's supposed to. I think we're doing Mondays, right?
We drop it Mondays?
I think so.
Okay. Every Monday, you get the rational opinions of the Skyward cast. Me, Delvin Cox, and Mr. Joey Buttafuoco, a.k.a. Billy B. Williams.
Lord.
Buttafuoco.
Jeez, I have an uncle that used to call me that all the time. Used to get on my nerves. Oh man! So Delvin, you had a topic. What was it, man? I forgot.
Oh, my topic that just made me utterly depressed. Okay, for those who don't know, Chris Evans just talked about today that Avengers 4, not Infinity War, the next Avengers movie is going to be his last film. Now, why would he announce that before Infinity War? I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense because you're just essentially telling everybody, guess who's living in this movie? I am.
I think that just kind of builds more hype on whether it'll be him or Tony Stark. It might be a couple people. Maybe it might be Vision and Captain America.
But now we know Captain America lives through Infinity War.
Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Catch that.
He said Avengers 4 is his last movie.
Oh,
not Infinity War. Avengers 4.
See, but it could be flashbacks.
Yeah,
he could have a flashback scene in 4. It could be like in memory of Captain America. He was a good soldier, and then everyone's having memories about all the good times, and he's still got to act for those. So it could be, he could be the one to drop.
So what is he gonna do? He going back to be the Human Torch? Like we don't remember him being the Human Torch? Like okay, but I just think when he put that out, I was kind of think he was saying, it's time for me to walk away from this character. I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years at that point, maybe a little longer. I need to walk away from Marvel and this character. Did all I could, put all I had into it, and I'm done. I'm gonna move on and get far away from, being in a superhero type role, and I want to do something else. Maybe I'll go into comedy. I don't know.
He's kind of said he wants to run on top, essentially.
Yeah.
I think after this point, it's really good for him to just get out at this point, because it's like, what else can the character really give us in the MCU? That we haven't seen already, until it gets to the point where it's like, all right, I've seen enough of you, man. Get off screen. I don't want it to get to that point. So, yeah, it's a good time.
So,
plus we got Black Panther. We don't need him. Get out of here.
I don't know about that, but I am very fine with Black Panther taking over the reins for Chris Evans in terms of being the next, basically, because Black Panther is going to be the leader of Avengers. It's going to have to be that, essentially.
I'd like to see Falcon take over as Captain America.
That was my next question. Who would you want to see? Now, I agree with Falcon 100% because Derek, do you read comic books?
No.
Okay. I'll chime you in on it. Okay. In the comic books recently, in it now, for a good period of time, Falcon ended up becoming Captain America because Steve Rogers was no longer able to be Captain America. It's a cool storyline because Falcon's Captain America is a lot different from Steve Rogers' Captain America in a sense where he is a person who doesn't shy away from not only political issues, but the Black experience. So he's sitting there. Not only is he fighting for white rights, but he's fighting for everybody's rights. And he's kind of more of he stands up for black people, and because of him standing up for black people in the comic books, like they had their own version of like Fox News and Marvel comic books. They were bashing him because of that. They kind of basically made him out to be like a jerk, so he wasn't universally loved as Steve Rogers' Captain America was. So It's a cool storyline because he is he's being Captain America and he's doing the right thing, but he's not getting the same love that Steve Rogers would get.
Okay. I know I wanted to ask, like, what's a good comic book or Black Panther comic book to really get in, to tell the story of how he came? And I'm not talking about
how he became Black Panther
from the 60s. Yeah, I don't want to go back because I don't like that art style of comic book. That's one of the reasons why I never read comic books back when I was a kid. That whole style, I was just like, I can't. This is like, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
You're already luck.
So
there's a book out now that does exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
It's called Rise of the Black Panther.
Okay.
They're making it right now, and it's telling the story of how the Black Panther essentially came to power. It's a pretty cool book. It's written by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
You said they're making it right now?
Yeah, it's on like issue 7 or 8 right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good. It's essentially telling how Black Panther came to be. And it's a modern take on it.
Is that the one that started like was it last year or?
Yeah, I think it started last year. I'm not sure it was last year. Like mid last year. Because they already have a Black Panther book that's written by Ta-Nehisi Coates that started a couple of years ago.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's the main one that everybody loves, that sells that book makes so much money. But the one I'm talking about started recently because of that book, they just started making a whole bunch of different types of Black Panther books. There's one that's specifically about Wakanda, like it's called The World of Wakanda or something like that. It's not necessarily about Black Panther per se. It's about Wakanda itself. And there's one about, like I said, the rise of Black Panther. There's one, the main Black Panther book. And there's one called Black Panther, The Fury and Sound. That's essentially like an action book. It's a book, essentially you want to see Black Panther fighting. That's what it is essentially. A typical comic book.
Nice. I wish I was more into them. And then I don't know, it's just it's like, dang, I just don't have the device. I don't have like a proper like tablet or something to get one of those services to read them, and then if I just wanted to go the traditional route and get the actual book, then it's like, that's a nice investment because you want to keep reading them, So I don't know. No, maybe at some point.
Yeah, you can read them off your phone.
Oh, it's just that the screen is so small. I can't really get into them like that.
I buy traditional comic books. I go to the comic book shop every couple of weeks and go get me some books.
Amazon has tablets on sale now if you were interested.
There we go.
I don't know, maybe. I honestly, I would rather just have the real book. So I'm gonna have to try to make my way over to my local comic shop.
There you go. See, that's a good idea. What about you, Derek? You plan on getting some comic books?
The only comic book I read so far that I read everything was The Walking Dead. And that was it. And that's more because I wanted to see how the story in the comic books differ from the TV show, because I love the TV show. But that's the only one that I've read so far. I've been wanting to get back into it, but it throws me off because you have like all these different Spider-Man comic books and all these different Batman comic books, and it's like you have different people telling stories, different type of art styles, and it's like, okay, if I start one, then I have to remember which one I'm getting to continue the story. So I want to get back into it, but I really wanted to get back into reading on Black Panther, and that's my goal over the next week or two. Is I really want to go to a local comic book store because I have one that's 10 minutes from my house, and just go in there and see if the guy has the book. But I want to get a good one that gives me a really good story, because if I get something with a good story, I'll sit there and just read it. Even if I have to do digital and read it on a tablet, I would do that. But I really want to get into reading it.
Okay, I might be able to help you with that.
All right.
I might have some digital codes or some comic books I can send you.
That'll work.
Cool.
I did want to ask, what do you guys game on, like console wise?
I have every console.
Okay.
PS4, Switch, Xbox One X. And is that it? I think that's all the main ones, right? Yeah. I have a PC, but I don't ever play on my PC.
Yeah, the only thing I play on my PC is Tiger Woods golf. Every so often I'll get to, like, I want to play golf, and I'll fire that up. Still trying to get my man-made guy to win an Open or to win a major, and I just realized that it's never going to happen. He's not that good.
Did you watch the tournament past week with Tiger?
I watched some of it. I think he was a broken guy. When I say that, I mean the way he works out and the way he swings, because he puts so much torque in his swing, he really tore his back up, which threw everything off as far as his game goes off. And then he will come out and then he will play like a round and he have to quit because he pulls something. So I kind of like didn't want to see him until he was back like he is now. And I watched some of it and I thought he did really good. I think he still has some things to work on, but he's much better now than he was, say, 2 or 3 years ago. And I think as long as his back holds up, he'll be good. I don't think he's going to be Tiger Woods from 15 years ago, but I think he's a lot better now, and he's slowly progressing to get back to being more competitive. But you got guys like Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy. He's trying to catch them. He's not going to catch them again. That time has passed, but he can be at the next tier right under them.
We got to talk about this on another episode of the podcast, Skyward Cast, but what a crazy story that Tiger Woods is. And I would love for them to do a 30 for 30 on that Tiger Woods story, because he got ostracized essentially. And it's crazy how he got dead. Now, not saying what he did was right, but what he did was a personal matter.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't make any kind of sense. I hate when people drag personal things, like, unless if it was like a case of abuse or something like that. You know what I mean? It shouldn't really matter. It's like, that's his personal business. Don't bring that into, his professional life. So, yeah, that doesn't...
And it's crazy because the media and everything it literally destroyed his life for a great period of time. He was looked at as this villain for such a long time because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah, the endorsement deals and companies were just like bailing on him, man. He was like golden child, and all of a sudden they just snatched that rug right on out from under him. But that happens. They build you up, put you on this platform, and then feel like, oh, you stepped off that perfect line. We're gonna take you down. We're gonna take everything away from you, and it's not right. But people, they see you as a public figure, and they can't separate your personal life from your public life. And when they can't do that, they want to know everything, not just what you do professionally, but they want to know who you dating and anything that goes on in your personal life. They feel like that should be out in public too, and they don't want to separate, which is bad, So, but I'm a big fan because he going out there playing when he was at the top of the game, man. I would tune in on Sundays to watch him. He had this red shirt on, polo buttoned up. And the reason why I wear polo shirts buttoned up is because of Tiger Woods. And he took golf and put it on his back and raised it up. And all the guys that were playing on the tours with him should get down and thank this man because their purses went up because of him, the way he played on Sundays, and he was winning tournaments, and their pay increased because of him. So they owe him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, when you were talking about like how, how people bring your private life into your professional, right? So I started to think, about somebody else. So do you guys think that the treatment that Chris Brown has received up to this point, do you think that it was fair?
Yeah, no. I think that he did what he did. He served his time for it. And a part of me says, we should move past it. But a part of me says he keeps doing dumb stuff.
Like what, though? I mean, like he's not doing, at this point, it's like he's not really doing anything that anyone else isn't doing. And that they're not getting a pass for some of this. But it's, so
I've always said that. The way I look at it is that society is funny about who they choose to forgive. And they're very hypocritical.
Really?
In terms of like, very, very hypocritical. Because a good example is, what's that director? Numerous directors. What's the director that? Woody Allen. Woody Allen does some very questionable things in his career that people well know about. But it kind of gets brushed under the table. Like, well, whatever. It's Woody Allen. Keep making your movies. And if, let's say, Chris Brown would have did those same things, he would have got that same treatment. It depends on who, like I said, it depends on who they are. But then on the other side of things, R. Kelly is a horrible human being. And he gets passes for all the time.
It's like, how does this fool keep slipping through the cracks? I never really understood that. It's like, it's like in many other cases, you could say like, oh, well, this person, they're getting caught up because they're black. But this dude, he's seemingly like, there's evidence of what he did. And people know the kind of person that he is. Yeah, he just keeps on getting by. So I don't know, is it just like in a case where it's like who he knows really helps him out in that situation? Because it feels like anyone else would have just been, they would have thrown him just under the jail a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
R. Kelly, their red flag went up when he married Aaliyah, when they found that out. And it was like, oh, he married Aaliyah. Like,
how did that even?
Like 14.
How could he even do that though? I don't know.
I do not know.
The creep factor about R. Kelly is the fact that he manages to find a way to get a loophole through every type of situation. Just like the Aaliyah thing, he was allowed to get married to her. What judge would allow that to happen? He somehow found a loophole.
So it has to be a case of like, it's who you know. Because he has to know somebody who's back there pulling some strings to let him get away with all this trash. Because 99% of other black dudes would have just been completely destroyed. It doesn't make any sense.
But just think about this. You have to be some type of super sexual predator to get away with it as long as he's been getting away with it for. He is a creep.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the fact that he's a creep, the fact that he flaunts it in our face constantly. And people still support him.
Flaunts it in our face. I don't know about that. Yeah. Where does that come in?
He just got caught they would basically said he ran a sex dungeon.
Hey man, that's I don't know. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But
with underage girls, and they were
okay.
Girls come out no, we're not. And the girls are you never seen the thing about the girls coming out saying that oh no, he's not keeping us here. We do what I want. And they look like they're hypnotized. And the girl parents come out saying that R. Kelly's essentially holding their children hostage.
Yeah, but then somebody in his camp is like, if I write you a check, and she don't, press charges, testify, it all goes away.
Yeah, but a lot of other people are writing checks too, and a lot of people are still coming out. They're still not getting away with it. I want to know, who does this fool know?
Yeah.
He must have deep ties with some really important people, the way that he's getting away with things. Because a lot of people are throwing out checks. Even Trump is giving out checks and he's not getting away. So what's really going down?
Yo, he calls himself the Pied Piper. Do you know what the Pied Piper used to do?
I do not know.
The Pied Piper is known for playing music and luring little children away.
That is terrible.
Hidden in plain sight.
Oh my God. You serious? That's that? Legit what that is?
Yes.
Oh no.
He calls himself the Pied freaking Piper.
That is terrible. That fool, I didn't even know it was that deep, man.
And the crazy part is, did you ever see his pictures of his ex-wife? Bad chick, man. It's like you got this grown woman at home and you're being attracted to a 14-year-old girl. And his wife was flexible. So I don't see that, just that whole, I think it's because, well, I don't know, but my guess would be that the mind of a girl that's between 13 and 15 can be easily wooed by a celebrity, whereas a grown woman is like, yeah, but what else are you bringing to the table? And young girls are they're on a totally different mentality. They're like a kid. It's like luring a kid with candy. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's there's a lot of women that have been manipulated in the same way. So even if that was his thing, and he just wanted to feel like, oh, I'm in power, I can manipulate you, make you do whatever I want, he could find a woman to do that. So it's obviously something deeper, some darker disgustingness in there that just makes him want to go after these underage girls. That's, oh man,
yeah.
God, why the podcast always got to go to a dark place at the end, man? Why you got to?
Yep, perfect time to end it. Talk about the Pied Piper R&B.
Oh, jeez.
Damn sexual predator.
All right, one more to raise it up, because people are going to end this and be like, oh man, I'm ready to go to bed. I don't want to.
That's perfect. Okay.
Atari coming out with a new console. You think they should do it or not? Was it the Atari VCS? It's no longer the Atari box.
Should they do it?
Should they do it? You think it could be successful?
No, it can't be successful. Yeah. But I'm going to buy one.
I think it will. I think guys closer, in their 40s who had Ataris growing up, will go out there and buy one because nostalgia is a hot thing right now. So Nintendo is smart. They're like, hey, they're seeing what Nintendo is doing with these, these minis. Why not going out there, put all your same stuff?
Whoa,
Yeah,
Derek.
this sucker is gonna be
it's not a mini
console.
It's a
no. I mean, are they putting out new games or are they bringing out their retro
new
stuff?
game. New game.
No, it's gonna be a mix of new and old. Like they just they had a showing and they showed that they're gonna have the old retro joystick and they're gonna have like a bootleg Xbox One controller. So this like is gonna be on like I'd say like on tier with what is that NVIDIA
Shield?
Yeah, that's like a Shield console basically. But for like $299 or something. So that's gonna be a hard sell unless they can actually get some decent exclusives. Because I mean, lots of people have come forward with a nice platform, but if you don't have the games, why would they pick that over a Xbox One that's going for $250 and like three games or something, or a PS4 with all the exclusives and or even a Switch? You know what I mean? So it's really a hard sell. I don't know what they could have done to make this work, but that's definitely not the route.
Yeah, they're in a very crowded space, and they're gonna have to nudge their way in, and they're gonna have to bring something to get people attracted. Because, like, I'm 50, and so Atari means one thing to me, and it's the old retro 2600s. And so, if they're gonna get a younger crowd that that really doesn't have that same nostalgia feel for Atari, they're gonna have to bring something along with this console to bring in a younger crowd. I don't know. When I want to play 2600 games, I just fire up my Raspberry Pi. I don't.
Exactly. See, but I guess they're thinking, well, it's gonna have official Atari branding. So, hey, and it's going to come with a joystick but I mean, I think it is kind of cool that they actually are going to package in two types of controllers. So they're going to be packaging it as it is a console where you can play all of your traditional games in a traditional way with it's like a modernized version. It's like sleek black. I think it might be like a matte black and with like a glossy black, and it has the red buttons on it. And then they're going to have like a Xbox One controller that's black and red. So it's like they're trying to package it as a perfect mix of both. But it's, like you just said, if you can go buy a Raspberry Pi for like $40, throw a little shell on there, get any controller you want, put all the software on it you want, like you don't really need to spend all that money for nostalgia. And, for all the modern stuff, you can go get another console. So I don't know. It might flop. I want someone to come through with something fresh and really shake up the game. You know what I mean? So it's not just the original three. If they could come through and really offer something and just come out of nowhere and just be a hit, I would love it. But it's highly unlikely. I think console. I think mobile gaming will take off before that. That kind of seems like that's the route. No, it really does. Like they're bringing all these hits. They got Fortnite coming. They got PUBG. I think mobile gaming is about to take off. This is going off on another subject. I actually talked about this on Twitter. I was saying like because they're bringing all these hits, it really seems like they're trying once again to make mobile gaming the way to go. And so I'm thinking, well, if you could play those major games on your phone, you could take any controller you want. You can kind of clamp it to the controller, take it on the go, and then maybe even continue that game on a Fire Stick, or maybe Apple will kind of have it so you can continue the game when you get home on an Apple TV, which is $100. You kind of get that Switch experience. You know what I mean? So it's like, can mobile gaming become a big thing if they actually get the proper games and give you that kind of docket when you're at home and play on the go experience?
No.
What?
No, it cannot.
And why is that?
Because playing on a phone sucks. I'm just calling it.
It sucks if you're playing with touch controls. See, but I got a couple like Bluetooth controllers. And
are you really carrying around these Bluetooth controllers everywhere you go? Yo, but you don't really carry a Bluetooth controller in your pocket when you go somewhere.
Listen. If you can carry a phone and a Switch, you can carry a controller and a phone.
No, I can't do it. At least the Switch has a cool case you can put it to. A Switch feels more like a tablet. I'm not carrying that phone and that ugly Bluetooth controller anywhere with me.
But the point is, if you're going to take a Switch with you, you got to have some type of carrying case anyway. So you could carry a controller, which is honestly, size-wise, smaller. It's not about being pocketable because you can't throw, unless you got some super monster pockets, you're not going to be putting a Switch in there. So,
but you got a carrying case for a Switch. It looks cooler. And besides, playing a Switch looks a lot cooler than playing on your phone with a controller.
If you get one of those cool clamps,
Joey,
and clamp it to the top, listen, Joey, it is
out of us three. Let's be honest here. We all know I'm the lame one on the Skyward Cast. You're supposed to be the cool one. You can't be out in the streets playing with no damn controller like that, man. Please don't.
Oh my God.
I can honestly tell you, I'm not playing a mobile game. The most game I will play on my phone is going to be Words with Friends. That's about it. No Angry Birds.
I just picture Joey in the streets.
Listen,
Happy Bird with a controller.
Listen, but that's just because of the mindset right now. But look, at some point, it's going to get to the point where you see it just like you're going to see gaming on a phone, or you could see gaming on a phone the same way you see gaming on a PC. Like some people will say, I don't want to play on my PC. That's for, doing it. I type documents. I'll do this and that. And then when I want to play a game, I go to a console. But it's not like that for many people. They see it as their everything machine. And you could soon have that same experience with your phone, especially with all these controllers they got coming out. They got the Game Vice, which basically turns your phone into a Switch. So if you can basically have that same experience with your phone. And it's more than powerful enough. These suckers, almost a lot of them are, well, not a lot of them, but some of the most, the most popular ones, they're reaching almost $1,000. They got all the power you need for proper gaming. So
you're right. I just don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. I do not look forward to that.
Yeah, because it feels like, breaking tradition. But once you get past that, it's like this sucker is powerful. It has a beautiful screen on it. Probably is a lot of these phones have better screens than the Switch. So you would honestly, if you could slap a traditional controller on there, or even, like I said, something like a Game Vice, you'd probably get a better experience.
Well, what kind of phone are you gaming on?
Me?
Yeah, I'm damn sure I get on the phone.
No, my phone. Well, I'm not gaming on it. I mean, when I was talking about when I was playing PUBG, my phone is honestly it's pretty average. It's a R1, a blue R1 HD.
What is that?
You never heard of the company Blue?
Oh yeah. I have heard of it.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's an average. It's a very low tier phone, but the fact that I could play PUBG on there, that just says a lot. It was actually pretty playable, and if I got one of my controllers, it would have been even better. So it just kind of opens gaming up to a lot of people. I don't know, in ways that we never really, considered before. And then because so many people are on the same platform, I don't know, it kind of connects it up because so many people are on, PlayStation here, there's Xbox there, but so many people on Android, but then there's iOS, and Apple doesn't like to play along. So then that will still continue. So never mind, bump that. That point goes out the window.
Nah, it ain't gonna happen on my phone. I'm sorry.
Not
gonna happen.
Too traditional, man. You gotta open your mind,
but it ain't gonna happen.
Open your mind.
I'm gonna see if I can even download this onto my phone. This PUBG that I kept dying when I was playing it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
But let me see.
You got to try it, man. It's pretty good. But I think that's it, man. I think we're going to close it out. Sound like everyone's getting tired, and I think people are going to be like, dang, what's going on, man? They're getting a little silent.
Well, I got to be back up in 3 hours. So, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'm just going to be throwing boxes on the shelf in a few hours. So while you guys are sleeping, we'll be out there at Amazon grunting. But the nice thing is I got a little friend that works there, and she keeps me entertained during the night. Talks smack to me. So, yeah, you know, I like to have a friend at every job I go to. So, you know, I gotta
you want me to show some to get that text.
All right. All right, keeping it pimping at Amazon. All right, let's do it.
I know my packages be damn late.
If they get
there, parking lot pimping.
Yeah, just I won't lie. I have thrown some boxes and I can hear glass breaking. My bad.
Oh my god!
Shorty walked by one night and she was shaking, and I was like, "Well, let me."
Listen, I hope nobody at Amazon listens to this.
No. My dog ain't forget trouble for that. That's gonna edit it out podcast.
It's so much. Straight up, it's so much stuff that boxes come. They're already packed at the center when they get to my center, and the truck ride from the distribution center to the building I'm in, we have a good 30 boxes a night, man. They're just. You don't know what happened. I don't know if the truck ran over them, but the boxes be destroyed by the time they get to us. And they're going from a conveyor belt onto a truck, off of a truck, back onto a conveyor belt, and they're destroyed. Like stuff, man, we've had stuff leak, like antifreeze. We had milk. No, not milk. It was something else. Not milk, syrup. We had syrup all over the place one night. Yeah, it gets interesting. We had laundry detergent. You know, it gets real interesting. And you drop a box and don't realize there's liquid on the inside, and it starts leaking out. You know, you're like, well, we got to clean up on aisle 4. You know, okay, keep it moving.
Sounds like a job full of adventure, man.
Yeah, it is. But I love it.
Man, we kind of want to get a job at Amazon. What is it, like a fulfillment center?
Yeah, well, no, we are a sortation center. Fulfillment centers are the ones that actually put the merchandise in a box and tape it up and put the label on it. And we set it up so that boxes go out on the right van to go to the customer's house. So I put the box on the shelf, and then somebody comes along and puts those boxes in a bag to put on the van to come to your house. And yeah, it's fun. We work with about 45 people on night, and about 20 of them are women. We have some very strong old women, young women that work, you know, there, and it gets kind of crazy. On Fridays, it's yes, sir. I don't miss Fridays.
Where was that going?
I don't know.
You knew where I was going. Exactly where I was going.
Okay, and on that note, I think it's time to
yeah.
All right, so let everybody know where you all can be found online, social pages and all that good stuff.
On Twitter, DSpin67. On Xbox, I'm Nerdish67. On PlayStation, I am Tinkster. And I keep saying that I'm going to do a podcast, so I've come up with a name. I just don't have time to record anything. So I guess whenever I do, I'll put something out on social media. On Instagram, I think I'm DSpin as well, but I don't put too much. I more follow people on Instagram. So, but I had fun.
Cool.
Delvin, let him know, man.
All right, you can find me on this podcast that you may know. It's called the Skyward Cast. It's with me and this guy. His name is Joey, a.k.a. Lando Calrissian, a.k.a.
What the heck?
Billy D. Williams,
Joey.
a.k.a. Colt 45.
You know, I was kind of cool with that before the Colt 45 part, man. I don't know.
Then I guess I'm the Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Joey, do you even know that reference, Joey?
What?
The Coke 45 reference.
Yeah, then Billy D, he used to make commercials for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I said that.
Yeah, I got it, man. Jeez, you act like. You treat me like I'm like a 15-year-old, don't know nothing about nothing.
I know you like Tekashi 4961 or whatever that guy's name is.
Hey, hold on. I don't mess around with that trash now. You know my musical taste is way better than that. I don't even mess around with freaking skittle-haired clowns with tattoos all over his face. I don't mess around with that.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a young guy at work, man, and said he don't understand the level of Prince, that the Migos were much better than Prince, you know.
Oh, no, I'm not having this conversation.
What? You know, I had to walk away.
This time in this podcast, no. You're not having this conversation.
That's what I did too. I had to walk away. I was like, dude, you 19, man. Just shut up.
I want to hear. I would love to have that conversation. It's like, what?
Not this week. See y'all later. Peace out. You're not having this conversation. That's another whole damn hour. Nope.
That is very true.
Nope. That's not happening.
All right. Hey, did you drop? All right, so you dropped your links. You told them. Yeah, no, you didn't even tell them.
They know where to find me at. Delvin_Cox on Twitter. Delvin Cox
for all you know, it could be someone that's just that follows me, that's listening to it, and they're like, "Hey, man, where do I find this Delvin guy? He sounds kind of cool."
Everybody who follows you knows who I am. I am.
Oh, big shot! You
no, I am.
Knows me.
I am your better half.
Oh, okay. Now we really got to sign off. You going too far now. All right. So, yeah, of course, if you don't know who I am Joey Skyward King. You can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Skyward King, and follow the podcast Twitter page at the Skyward Cast, so you can get all updates, future episodes, and whatever else might be information we might have on the podcast. And just whenever new episodes come out, you get them straight there. And also, if you like the podcast, if you're enjoying it, wherever you are, like it, rate it, throw some comments, give us feedback, and share. And I guess that's it. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later.
Peace
out.
Well, I gotta press stop. I forgot I'm recording it.